The palace awoke to an unusual stillness, a silence that felt heavier than any dawn before. The servants whispered among themselves, uncertain why the air carried such a strange emptiness. The guards stood alert, their eyes scanning every corner, yet there was no sign of the crown prince. Sheikh Hamdan had vanished. The bed was untouched, the royal seal left open on his desk, and beside it, one small folded letter with her name on it. No one dared to open it, but everyone felt the weight of what it might contain. Something had ended the night before, something far greater than a love story. The night before his disappearance, Hamdan had stood beneath the endless Arabian sky, his heart aching beneath the stars. She had come to say goodbye, not with tears or anger, but with quiet acceptance. Her eyes had told him everything she could not speak. Their love had survived distance, duty, and rumor, but it could not survive destiny. She was leaving, and for once, even the poet in him had no words to stop her. When she walked away, her silhouette fading into the desert mist, a part of him left with her. The man who remained behind was a shadow of the prince the world adored. That evening, the palace corridors echoed with silence. The poems he had once written about love now felt like mockery. Every word he had ever spoken about courage seemed empty, for he could not find the strength to face a world without her. He had been raised to be a leader, a symbol of grace and composure, but love has its own way of humbling even the strongest. That night, he removed the symbols of royalty, the ring, the robe, the gold, and replaced them with simplicity. He no longer wanted to be the crown prince of Dubai. He wanted to be just a man, free to feel the loss that royalty forbids. As the moon rose high, he walked through the palace gardens one last time. The scent of jasmine clung to the night air, the same fragrance she once wore when they met for the first time. Every path, every bench, every flicker of lantern light reminded him of her laughter, her voice, her warmth. He stopped at the old fountain where she had once told him, "Even a prince deserves to be loved for who he is, not for what he carries." Those words haunted him now, cutting deeper than any wound. For the first time in his life, Sheikh Hamdan realized he had everything the world could offer, except her. By dawn, the royal stables were empty. His favorite horse, Amir, was missing too. No guards had seen him leave, no cameras captured his path. It was as though the desert itself had swallowed him whole. The royal family tried to hide the news, but whispers spread like fire. "The sheikh has disappeared," the people murmured. Some said he had gone to the mountains in search of peace. Others believed he had followed her, abandoning the throne for love. The truth, however, was far more poetic and painful. He hadn't gone in search of her. He had gone to find himself after losing her. Far beyond the city's glow, Sheikh Hamdan rode deep into the desert, the wind carrying the taste of salt and sand. The vast emptiness mirrored the hollow within him. The desert had always been his refuge, the one place that did not demand perfection. Here, titles faded, time slowed, and hearts could breathe. He stopped near an oasis where the stars seemed close enough to touch. He dismounted, walked barefoot on the cool sand, and whispered to the night, "She's gone." The wind didn't answer, but the silence embraced him like an old friend. Days passed, but he did not return. The palace launched quiet searches, avoiding panic, but the traces were faint, hoofprints leading nowhere, a half-burned letter near a dune, and a silver ring buried in the sand. The world speculated endlessly, painting him as a rebel, a heartbroken poet, or a man who chose freedom over fame. But none of them truly understood. His disappearance wasn't rebellion, it was redemption. He wasn't escaping the throne, he was escaping the version of himself that had let her walk away. Some say he lived among the Bedouin for a while, trading royal attire for plain robes, sharing bread and poetry under the stars. The locals spoke of a man.
The seasons shifted quietly over Dubai, yet his absence remained an open wound in the heart of the city. There were nights when the wind sweeping through the royal courtyards sounded like whispers of his name, and the guards swore they could hear his laughter in the echoes of the old stables. The royal family kept their silence, knowing that some departures could not be undone by commands or searches. The people, however, held on to their faith that the sheikh would return. They left lanterns glowing near the palace gates on nights when the moon was high, as though their light could guide him home. But Sheikh Hamdan was far beyond the reach of city lights, lost not in place, but in peace. Deep within the desert's heart, where the dunes move like tides and time has no meaning, he found a rhythm his soul had forgotten. The desert became both his punishment and his salvation. Its silence mirrored his own, its vastness reflected his loss, and its beauty whispered of healing. Each dawn, he would kneel upon the sand, feeling its warmth beneath his hands, whispering prayers not for himself but for her. He asked the winds to carry blessings to wherever she might be, to let her know that though he had vanished, his love had not. Love, he had learned, doesn't die when people part. It becomes the light that guides their separate journeys. Sometimes, he would write on pieces of parchment and let them drift away with the desert breeze. He didn't expect them to be found. They were not letters meant to reach her, they were letters meant to release her. He wrote of moments he wished he could relive, the day she smiled beneath the palm trees, the moment she told him she believed in his dreams, the last time their hands brushed in farewell. He didn't write out of grief anymore, he wrote out of gratitude. The pain had softened into poetry, and the poetry became prayer. His words were no longer confessions, they were blessings disguised as memories. There were times when travelers spotted him from afar, a lone rider against the crimson horizon, his silhouette framed by the fading sun. They described him as a man who carried peace in his silence and purpose in his solitude. Some said he had become a poet of the sands, reciting verses to those who wandered through his path, teaching them about love, faith, and letting go. No one truly knew who he was, yet everyone who met him felt changed. They spoke of his eyes, calm, endless, and filled with something divine. It was as if he had transcended the pain that once ruled him. Back in the palace, her name was still forbidden to be spoken aloud, yet her presence lingered in every poem he had ever written. The courtiers often found themselves reading his old verses, searching for clues, for closure, for meaning.